Yes. Big up to everyone locked in. Welcome back to Football with Ends. Quasi Bowl is in the business. Is it Quasi or Quasi or Quasi? What way do I pronounce it, bro? Before I fuck it up. And people say, nah, Ends is taking a piss, you know. Nah, that's not how you pronounce it, bro. So I want to know, bro, before I start fucking it up.
It's Quasi.
Quasi.
Yes.
Okay, say less then. Let me make sure I print. Let me get my glasses ready as well, because the man them like to criticize me in the comment. You keep squinting in that, you know what I mean? Put your glasses on. Let me put my glasses on, but squinting, bro. Is everything good, blessed? Family
everything is good, man. How about you, man?
Nah, good, bro. Liverpool back to winning ways, bro. What else do we need in life?
That's all we needed. That's all we needed.
Health and Liverpool winning football games, bro. That's all. Nah, bro. I was impressed with how we displayed ourselves today. There's a few guys, and we'll chop them up as the stream goes along. Obviously, you guys can see from the title, one of them is going to be Rio, and then we're going to talk about Chiesa as well. There's a few other players jotted around within that. But before we get going, though, what was your overview, or how did you see the game, man? Did it pan out the way you saw it, or did anything you like raw surprise you as the game was going along?
No.
Big up Scraps and Honesty in the building. Love,
brother. Big up to Mandem in the chat. The game, I think the manager did the best he can do. And he needed certain Mandem to play. Right? So I know some people are like, oh, he should have used the youth. The idea he has injuries and he needs Mandem to be back on full fitness.
100%.
That's why last time he played Alisson against Spurs, because Alisson just got back. He hasn't had continuous games yet. So he needed him to play, because I knew he was going to play Alisson, but I wanted him to play Kelleher.
I thought Alisson would have played I thought Kelleher would have played.
Yeah. And Kelleher has been playing, but Alisson hasn't got enough game time, and the team is a little bit out of balance. So today's match, like, why is Jota playing, knowing his injuries list, right? But you need him to be, game fit, get as much game. It's all about confidence. Why is Trent playing? Right? Knowing that we need him for the rest of the season. And then who else? Konate was supposed to be on the list, and they changed it. What happened?
But did they change it though? Or did people jump the gun and got it wrong, bro? That's the where I'm at. I'm like, did people jump the gun and said stuff when it wasn't true? Because I saw the tweets from a couple of the guys, and this is what I'm saying about these man them that pretend and
bro,
say they know stuff.
That's a whole conversation we need to have. I don't know if this show is the time. But there are man them who talk like they know people, right? And I got my sources. I tell people I got my sources, right? But then you got man them who think that they literally know somebody who knows somebody. So, but Konate, it would have been good for him to play, but I think they probably felt like, why are we risking it?
That's what I thought as well.
You know what I mean? They were like, why are we risking it? Go sit down somewhere. But we have to shout out the Samurai, because this guy's he's a midfielder playing a center back like he's been playing this his whole life. But the overall game itself, it's exactly how I expected it to be. It's supposed to be like a training ground match for setting man. For the kids, it was exactly what we needed for the kids to play in front of Anfield. And then Chiesa was good for everybody to see Chiesa finally. You know what I mean? So I think everything, if you look at how the manager is grinning from year to year, everything went according to plan. And I would think the most important thing, it wasn't just the win. It was the fact that both sides did not have any injuries. You know what I mean? So he's going into the half of the season and say, okay, I can bring 7 kids with me. This kid ain't ready yet. You know, I can sprinkle him as we go. How serious is he going to take the FA Cup, especially depending on who we meet next round? So,
All right, but listen, what I've done then, Quasi, I've made it easy for everyone to kind of keep to where we are in the stream. Big up to everyone locked in as well. Hash, I see you in the building. Football God, big up as well. Honestly, I'll answer your one. I don't know if you heard what we said, but you had the question about what happened to Ibu? Was he supposed to start but last minute dropout? Bro, I don't know. If I'm being honest, bro. I saw a couple of men them jump early and said, yeah, nah, he's starting. But he wasn't even in the squad. So I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, in terms of the game though, I love it when we mix the team up with the youngsters, bro. I feel like that gives you such a good, not even feeling, but it gives you like a good idea what the future could look like for Liverpool Football Club when all the main guys go. Do we have people coming through the academies to step into this team and carry on this club and keep making this club a great club as it is in world football?
right.
And I love it when we blend it, bro. That's why I look forward to like the League Cup game, the Carabao Cup games. But I don't know if we've not really mixed the team up in the Carabao this season. And obviously, it's a different manager. Normally, on the Jurgen Klopp used to mix it up properly, and there's a lot of youngsters filled in, and you know what I mean, the youngsters take us. But for this first leg of the FA Cup, which obviously we had Accrington Stanley, so it kind of helped. I don't know if we had maybe a Premier League team, it would have been a lot more difficult to kind of rotate or put these players out. But bro, to see, you know, just to see, even like Quansah, I know he's a part of the first team, but seeing him today, you know, close to being back to where he was in terms of his best, which was a good sight to see. And then obviously having Sobo back, but then you're seeing Jayden Danns come off the bench, Trey Noni come off the bench, but then you had, you know, Rio that started, bro, and he's such a talent, bro.
Man, that kid
is such a talent, bro. Like, and as I said, bro, it's mad, yeah, because I know obviously my boy is the one who trains him, innit? Like trained him before he moved up to Liverpool. When he has the like off season, he'll come back down and train. Bro, he's so the footwork, the speed, the confidence when he's 1v1. Honestly, bro.
You know, the fun thing is with Rio, the manager said that too. He said when it comes to 1v1, this kid he's something else. Especially 16 years old?
16 years old, one of the youngest in the squad, bro.
You know what I mean?
The youngest in the squad. Well, currently in terms of the first team that's come up.
And I like how the manager said, I'm just giving you 45 minutes, bro.
Do you know what? He kind of petered out in the game, but that's to do with maybe fatigue. Like, he's not used to playing at this high tempo for a whole 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Realizing the man them are going to give you the ball every 2 seconds. But I saw them. They tried to look after him. They tried not to give him the ball too much. Let him recover. And then once he had the opportunity to take people on, he was able to take people on. But just that every time you got on the ball, you just knew something was going to happen. You had that feeling within you like, nah, something's going to happen. Like, but he's only 16. He's got years ahead of him before he even thinks about making, you know, getting into this first team. But can he though? Because obviously we have another guy, you know, Lamine that plays over in Barcelona, you know, got into that Barcelona team and cooked from an early age.
But I mean, I think we will see more of him in the preseason coming up. Preseason coming up, you got big up to Savage in the building. Preseason coming up, we're gonna see a lot of the kids. Rio and Trey are like the main, like the future right now. Right? They are 2 years apart each other. And then Danns,
I think it's a year. I think 117 and 116.
Yeah, and then you got Danns, who's like kid is smart when it comes to running around the channels. He knows he's a poacher. He knows how to be at the right place at the right time. The goal he scored today is identical to what he scored last year. Like opportunistic, talking about opportunistic about Liverpool, that's what we do. Like he got into the position at the right time he was at the right place at the right time. Deflection, bam, he's there. So, I mean, the future is bright for Liverpool. They always been, the issue is, will they get enough playing time? You see what I mean? Because last week you and I talked about all the why FSG doesn't want to bring in these superstars. We're like, okay, if they bring these superstars, then Rio might not get enough game time because, I mean, who is he going to sub if you have a superstar over there?
And we did see, like, on the clock, right, and obviously big up to Mo, but we did see on the clock, like, Klopp was subbing Mo off to put Doak. Like, we was trying to get Ben Doak into the team in terms of, like, seeing how exciting he is when he's dribbling, how powerful he is. He can drift, he can dribble off his right, off of his left. So when you're talking about the future, these players were going to get given the opportunity, but obviously we had a restructuring management, so you don't know what then happened. But I'm loving it, bro. Like, I'm looking at the players we've got coming through. And they look, even like, you know, at first I didn't really, McConnell wasn't one where I go, do you know what? He's good, you know. Like, I saw a bit of him and I thought he looks a bit off balanced a bit when he was playing. But today, he looked a lot more mature in his play today.
And today, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's because the manager also slows everything down. So now the players can be like, okay, think. You get time to think rather than the previous managers like boom, 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 boom. You don't even have time. You have to do, it's like doing the homework, right? You got to study before the test. You don't show up and think it's going to be an open book, right? You know, and that's what Klopp was. It was like, you know, you have to be good. That's why we were always on the attack, because you have to study the play. In terms of Slot is saying, okay, slow down. I mean, in practice, you call it what? 2 touches. I'm forcing you to do 2 touches compared to 1 touch. This one is giving time.
As well. Go ahead, bro.
So these kids are,
bro.
Hey, Cav, how you doing?
Oh, can't hear you on mute now.
Okay, yeah, I think you're on mute. So I think today, you know, the playing style of them coming down and being easy on the ball, it kind of helped the kids because then they don't have to rush. They could take their time to adjust to the speed of the game. You know, you could see that for Rio because like, everybody's excited. The whole stadium wants to see what Rio can do. But you can't keep giving him the ball 2-3 times when, you know, he's been making those runs and he has to rest. So it helped a lot of them. Like Trey today was just cool, calm, and collected. You know, playing like he's an adult. Bro, you're 17, man. Relax. You know what I mean? It's like, you're 17, relax. Why are you playing like an adult right now? But yeah, it was very impressive today. The manager, you could, like, looking at the manager's face, he's like, and you see how he went on people because of Trent. Right? It's like, you guys, the only reason why you criticize the guy because he's that good. If he wasn't good, you wouldn't be criticizing him. So
you're just like, yeah, you can leave.
You know what I
mean? Big up, Cav, bro. I don't know. I still can't hear you. Is it us or is it him? All right, cool. Honestly, bro, I'm just enjoying the moment right now. I just love seeing these young players get the opportunity and play and being able to express themselves. Yeah. And yes, sometimes we want the shiny new toy, and I get it, man. I sometimes want that as well. I want the world-class players to come in and help us. But we can create an environment where we do have top players and we have the facilities to bring in these younger players. Bro, I love it, bro. Yeah, that's what I love. I love that part about football, man. Just being able to get these youngsters through and giving them opportunities to play and not just let them like just slide through the door or just get rid of them because you just don't rate them. Because they are good, but they need the opportunity to go and play. Sometimes that's on loan. And that's why we're seeing Kumas at Stoke doing what he's doing at the moment. You're like, okay, there's a player there. What do you do with him? You just sell him and get rid of him? I don't know. Ben Doak at the moment, scoring and assisting. But overall, his performances have been phenomenal. Like, they've been really, really good. Big up, Cav. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now we can hear you now, bro.
Cool.
Now we can hear you.
Sorry about that.
Now we're just chopping up, obviously, the game and stuff like that. But we're just talking about the youngsters, bro, and how I just personally love when we're able to like put them into the squad and allow them to go and express themselves, and seeing like Rio and Trey and Danns and whoever else, and even McConnell. I was saying when I first saw him, he didn't look for me like comfortable on the ball. He looked kind of like off balance at times. But like seeing him today, he looks mad mature now. He's just getting on the ball. He's strong in the tackle. I'm that's like, nah, this is so great, man. But what was your thoughts on the game and the youngsters?
Yeah, I must admit, like I didn't think about the game in the lead up at all. It kind of just come about and switched it on. And even I switched it on just as they were coming out the tunnel, and I just was like, oh, it's just got a different feeling about it, the FA Cup. Like I always forget about the competition, focus on Champions League and Premier League, but it does have a different feeling about it. You know, maybe it's because you're playing a lower league side and the commentary is different. I much prefer the commentary on the broadcasts in the FA Cup ties, because it feels like there's no agendas with the commentary. It's just talking about football.
Exactly.
You know, just talk about what they see, as opposed to trying to make ridiculous sounds and noises and try to build an agenda or anything like that. So it just has a different feeling about it. You add into that you're seeing some youngsters that you might see if you watch the underage groups for Liverpool, or you just see clips and things like that, and you're told they're good. You see moments of them being good, but how good really are they? You know, in an 11, you know, obviously play 11 side, but over the course of 90 minutes against, I know it's a League Two side, but against grown physical men, and you know, on a great pitch in a great stadium. I don't think it was full capacity today, but not far off, playing in front of thousands of people that still want Liverpool to win. And there does come an expectation, because you're playing a lower league side, that you should just cruise it, and that adds a little bit of pressure. So how do they cope with all that? And it seems like we've got a really good set of young players, like got talent, got ability, and can handle these occasions as well. And it was really exciting to see. I actually thought there'd be more going into the starting 11, but obviously that shows Liverpool's strength in depth, that even our rotated side are still in some internationals in there, some experienced players, and some quality players as well. So I think it was great. And I think I said when on Sav's watch along, I said the nice thing about the FA Cup is I feel like Liverpool, we're always in like this pressure cooker, aren't we? Like we have to win every game. You know, if we lose, it's so devastating, because does that mean we're not going to win the Champions League or Premier League and all these things? And with the contract situation for the three top stars, it's kind of took over a little bit of Liverpool. And I feel like, I know Trent played today, but seeing all the other players kind of reminded you that this is Liverpool Football Club. These are players that play for Liverpool Football Club as well. This is what we represent, not just the individuals. And that's what was nice for me to see, is like, Chiesa is still part of Liverpool Football Club. You know, Bradley's still part of Liverpool Football Club. Elliott's still part of Liverpool Club. These represent our club, and these are good players. And it's good for them to, be out there playing well, enjoying their football. And I think it was a really nice thing to see. We got some good youngsters, man. And I said to you in the WhatsApp before, as the game kicked off, I was excited about this Rio kid, because he looks like he certainly looks, whether he's a baller, he's a dribbler for sure, and the future's very bright for him. And I think he played with some confidence. Second half, didn't get on the ball as much, but I think that's down to the team. You could see that the right hand side was just progressing a lot better, but that's understandable. A bit more experience over there. But everybody stepped in and did well. It was nice to see.
Do you know the good part about it as well? When you got to see him, how much, even though you say it's a League Two side, they respected him, because whenever he got on the ball, they doubled and tripled up on him. Yeah. So I'm just like, why are we doubling and tripling up on a 16-year-old? Like, let him live, bro. Like, they're like, nah. We've seen the clips as well. Like, a couple of us in the team are Liverpool fans as well. Now, we've seen what's going on with this shoot. We need to make sure we keep a lid on him. And just a couple of moments of brilliance where he just, drop over the shoulder, and then he steps inside, and then he feints to go for a pass, and he chops it back, and you're like, bro, more confidence like that. Him growing in stature, him filling out a bit more. He'll get faster. He'll get stronger. His footballing intelligence will go up as well in terms of making the right decisions, even though you could watch and see he knew when to give it back. And go out wide if he needed to, and when he needed to dribble and he was isolated, he knew when to do all of these things. And just watching him do it, and you're like, this is a 16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And yes, the opposition isn't a Premier League standard, but you can only play what's in front of you. And ideally, he's 16. You'd say that's probably, even though it's League Two, it's still higher than what, because he's not playing men's football in the academy games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a levels up from what he's naturally used to in terms of the physicality and stuff like that. And again, you could see a couple of challenges. They were trying to rough him up a couple of times because you're like, no, we ain't trying to be no meme. We're not trying to be on no clips for tonight, because we're here to enjoy ourselves and we want to win. But we're not trying to leave here not only, losing by 4 goals, but also one of us just on a meme now sliding somewhere, or, trying to chase this kid down. But just talking about like the youngsters, then a few of the guys in the chat mentioned like Ben Doak and Kumas, and Trey and Danns and even McConnell now. You got Morton. I know he's not really sorted after. Maybe the fan base don't really want him at the moment in terms of like just they want to kind of get rid of him. Quansah coming through, Bradley, one of the other ones as well. Yeah. Just looking at all of these players and just going, do you know what? Like we're in such a good place. And Quasi, forgive me if I'm wrong in terms of what you said, but when you're saying in terms of sometimes when we want to go and get the new player, we got one eye on like, do we stop the pathway for these boys or because in commentary they mentioned it in terms of Rio. There was like the reason why he left Chelsea because of the pathway. He didn't see a pathway into the first team. Liverpool obviously clearly have a plan in place, or maybe they sold him the right formula, and he goes, yeah, this is where I want to be. I love it, bro. Just seeing these boys, man.
I think, and this is what I say, this is what the beauty of the FA Cup has provided us, is because we get so focused on like the first teamers and the guys that make the benches and stuff, and we often forget about all of these youngsters that are coming through the ranks. They all have great ability, and it's not until, unfortunate circumstances like injuries happen that one of them has to step in that you really then start to believe, oh, actually, we don't need to sign a right back because we've got Bradley. This I'm speaking before, the Trent situation, but like, Bradley, we would have all been saying, okay, we've got Trent, but we need to maybe sign a backup option to that. We don't feel like Gomez at right back's probably it. So let's get somebody. Bradley steps in, has an incredible 5 or 6 games, gets assists, gets a goal, energy, tackling, 100% effort, all of that, unfortunate situation off the field. Doesn't play for a bit, injury, doesn't play for a bit, but steps back in. And when he's stepping back in, it's like he's been around for ages. It's like he is a first teamer that's just off the back of an injury, is back into the starting 11. Don't bat an eyelid. You're confident in what he's going to deliver. Quansah, I think you felt like that in his breakout season last year. This year is a little bit up and down. But I think most of us in the fan base believe that he's going to, find some form again. He's going to improve, and actually he is going to be a good centre-back for Liverpool in the future. So there's another youngster that's come through. And the likes of Trey and Rio, McConnell, they are just, a little bit further behind in their years and their development, but they will also get there. And we may look at these players as first teamers for Liverpool in the future. So of course you're dead right when it comes to thinking about signings and stuff. You've got to consider the pathway of these youngsters and whether you think they'll make it or not. I mean, for me, I think Bradley's great. I think he's incredible. I've watched him firsthand in that Real Madrid game with my own eyes, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He was stood out so well. I think Quansah's good, but I remember when he broke through, you and I had a conversation about him, and we said it seems all plain sailing now, but it's not going to be. He's a confident kid, but he's going to go for a rough patch, And he's gone through that rough patch, and hopefully he's coming out of the back of it now. But I think Morton's a decent player. I know he's not fashionable. I know he's not what everybody will want, and I'm not saying he's going to be Liverpool's 6 in the future and that's it, job set done. But when he plays, I think he's fine. I think he's looks calm, looks composed. Seems like he's confident in the middle of the park. Doesn't get overawed. Mobile, can challenge, moves the ball, well. I think he's absolutely okay. You just think if his development goes up a little bit more, actually he could be a really good option to the squad, so I'm fine with him as well. So we have got some really great youngsters that can, that can possibly break into, and we're talking 2-3 years down the line.
Yeah.
They can be Liverpool first teamers. I do think they've got that quality. I mean, I'm holding off, but I can't wait till you get to speak about Danns, because he's one that I'm really excited about.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna speak on him. But what is it, Quasi? You might as well take this one, bro. What is it though? Because we're right in terms of, if we want to compete at the highest level, right, we need to get top class players at the same time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't then block pathways, because then what is the point of having an academy? Is it just to sell these players and make a profit on the back end to, I don't know what, to do what, and then maybe we get one gem out of that? Is that the thing? And so the question I'm asking, because obviously we're fans of the game, right? We're fans of football, but we're fans of Liverpool football, importantly. How do fans like separate that in terms of, we want to win, but at the same time we want to produce good talent? Or should we not care about that? Should we just let the club handle that and then we just focus on winning trophies as fans? Or should we think about that side of it as well?
That is the conundrum that the owners have to deal with. Because I remember you, Ends, when I think we were talking about ambition. And you said ambition is not just spending 100 million. Ambition is also bringing a kid from the academy and said, this is the next one. That's, you showing ambition as a team by trusting somebody that you groom, just like Trent, right? Klopp was like, that's my kid. So for the fans, are the fans prepared to go through it? Because it's nice when we do it, like with Rio, right? But then with Anslot is like, you know what? Because of Rio, we're not going to go for, say, for a Zubimendi. Okay, how you feeling? As a fan, how you feeling? You be like, no, we need a Zubimendi. You can't, all of a sudden, Rio is too young. We're like, bro, you just said this kid is ready to go in. But then the manager is like, okay, well, I have to choose. And then everybody start, going after the whole easy backing tagline of FSG don't spend, and we don't want to support the manager and blah blah blah. And people don't understand that the game has changed. The management of the squad now has changed. So everything that you talk about is all about what goes on. You want to maximize your profit by selling some of these kids. Some of these kids, as good as they are, they're not going to make it. For a Liverpool caliber, for a Liverpool caliber player, some of them will not make it. They'll probably do very well in another team, or maybe let's use Solanke, for example. Solanke is a very good player, but for some reason for Liverpool, it was very hard for him to break out. And Klopp gave him opportunities, right? He scored in 1 or 2 games before we shipped him off. But now look at him at Spurs. He is that dude. So the thing is for the club is having the foresight to pick the ones that are good enough that you see that this is going to be the next Steven Gerrard, the Trent, and all those people. And then say, the next one we're going to sell you, but we might put a clause saying that we get the first refusal if we come back. Like City has been doing a lot with somebody like Lavia and some of those guys that they sold. So for a club like Liverpool, you have to, sorry to say, it took Solanke 7 years. Bro, sometimes it may take you forever. Some people are late bloomers. Didier Drogba was not. Yeah, Didier Drogba. How long did it take Didier Drogba to become who he is? He was like almost 32 by the time he became the Didier Drogba that we love. But of course, we're not going to wait for a player to turn 32. But the club have to put all that into perspective and say, okay, let's see what is the best decision for us. Should we keep Rio and build a pathway for him? And when he gets there, we cannot have somebody in front of him. It doesn't matter how good that person is. This kid is the next one. Club did it with Trent. And even with Trent, it was supposed to be a midfield Trent until Klopp said, you know what, let me try you on this side. So Rio might be doing well. I'm sure Rio's never going to be a defender, but we never know. He might end up being a striker for a while. You never know. I mean, you play with kids who they start here.
Rephrase that. Rephrase that. Rephrase that, bro. Rephrase that, bro. Change that sentence. Yeah.
Okay. So with a coach like Ends who work with kids, he's seen kids where they will start at some place and end up another place.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So I get excited with the kids when you see that this kid, someone is gonna be special. You like, oh, I can't wait. And one thing that again, I'm gonna big up the former manager, putting pressure on the owners for them to spend that money earlier than expected to build that training center. You know, the training center was supposed to be built after Anfield was done. Mm-hmm. But he told them, no, you got to do this right now. And it took him, almost 18 months to finish that whole training center. So that's why I feel like he's using, you know, I feel like if there's going to be a statue, it should be for club at the AXA Training Center. But yeah, I think you having that there where now the manager can see these kids firsthand. He doesn't have to wait for Cav to come in and be like, hey, my manager, you need to go watch this kid. Now he sees it himself. He's standing in his office in the balcony and he's watching the kids play and he sees it firsthand. Now on the other side, Edwards and Hughes are looking at it like, he's good, but he's going to make us money when we sell him. A la the Doak situation right now, right? So it's a blend. All of it has to be done properly. You have to train those kids well enough where you can make some profit, or you give them a pathway, or then you bring in somebody else from outside. Now, for the fan side is you got to deal with it. If the manager said, I want a kid from the academy, let's roll with the manager. If he makes a mistake, then he will hear from us. Other than that, listen to what the manager says.
I think the academy is so important. I think, let's face it, the most perfect model that you could have in football would be you sign a youngster for a low fee, you train them up, you coach them, they become the player that you mold them and want them to be. They make it into your first team and you've got a starting 11 just made up of academy kids. That obviously never happens because it's just, you can't achieve that perfection. So you sign players that have been coached and developed elsewhere and you bring them in. But if we could, I'm pretty sure we would aim for getting all the youngsters developed and through the academy and into the first team. But like KWASI says, some of them work out, some of them don't. And that's just the football club for you. That's the operation of a football club. Find a player, hope he does what he needs you to on the pitch, but then look at his contributions off of it in terms of financial packages and things like that, and then make a decision. And it's a continuous assessment during their time under their contract as to whether they're going to be here long-term, short-term. We're going to develop them a little and capitalize money-wise. We're going to hold them off until the market's a bit stronger. Just think about Kelleher, for example. Part of the reasons we've not let him go is because the goalkeeping market wasn't a desperate need for keepers. And I felt like at times we held on to him because we thought, well, actually, if Lloris leaves Spurs, they'll probably want to keep him next season. So let's hold on to our good one and maybe we could sell it to him the following season for more money. And all these things just go on in the background. But the nice thing about seeing a player come through your academy is one, it showcases that to some degree that your club's being ran right. You're scouting good young players, you're developing them. So you've got the right coaches and the right, and we say these coaches, people that can coach football, but also look after young adults as well, because that's also important. And we see them develop and we see them break into the first team. That's nice, but it gives our club a bit of substance as well. If we were just that club that went out and signed top stars and we put a starting 11 together and we went and won things, it'd be nice. It'd be great. We'd all celebrate the trophies and stuff. But what gives your club substance? What gives your club heart? It's these things as well. It's investing into other things like the academy and developing people and things like that as well. And there'll be people that come through our academy, young boys and girls that come through the Liverpool Footballing Academy that might not make it as footballers, but I think they leave with a good footballing education. Trent obviously has his thing set up where there's life after football for these people as well. And I just think being the biggest club in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world, that's how you should carry yourself. you should offer more, and you should certainly never overlook your academy, because you're taking young people in, you're trying to develop them, you're trying to show them a way, and at the very least, you give them an opportunity to progress in life. And hopefully that's because they're good enough at football. If it's not, they've learned through being involved in the Liverpool constitution, and then they go on and do whatever they want to. So I think it's great. I think we do it right, to be honest with you. There's some good academies out there, but I think ours is from what we see done really well. Yeah.
We are getting better in terms of we're trying to go and find the best talents around and plot them out of all the different teams and try and make sure Liverpool is a destination for young, talented footballers. But, I want to go on to Trent before we go on to, your main man himself, Danns. And he's one that's come through the academy ranks. And the question I really want to ask, though, is, like, what gives you a bit more buzz? Is it signing a player, right? Or one of the academy boys breaking through and then just performing? What's the one that gives you the most buzz that you can go back to? A signing Liverpool made you like, oh my days, or a player like a Trent breaking through and coming into the team, or maybe Gerrard, depending on the age group of everyone watching and stuff like that?
I think the thing is, it's hard to compare, because when you sign a top player, it's instant, isn't it? They're there. They're signing the contract, they're holding their shirt, they're at photos at Anfield, they're playing their first game. And if they're as good as you think they are, their first game is great. And the second game is great. And you're instantly excited. But with a youngster, they can step in and you can see quality, but not the finished product. So you get a bit excited, but then you might not see him again for a while. Or in somebody like Bradley's case, where he gets into the team and he puts together 5 great performances, you think, okay, that's great. But you have to wait a bit longer when a youngster breaks through. So I don't think for me personally, I think the excitement of signing a player is instant. Whereas with a youngster, it's just a bit of a more drawn out process, because they've got to perform over a long period of time for them to convince you. So I would like to say that it excites me more seeing a youngster come through, but the truth of the matter is you can't take away that excitement when you just see a top star sign for your club, and you're like, next game, come the weekend, he's in there, and I can't wait to see. I don't think you can replace that excitement.
Because even like now, we got a little taste of what Rio can do, but now you're like, we know he's not going to be in the team now for a while. He's just like, I want to see it, man. I just want to see what it looks like in the Premier League. Can he go up against a Premier League fullback and destroy them? Or is it just because I feel like he could, bro? Like,
he could certainly. I think that what we've seen from that Rio performance is that he's very confident and assured in his ability, and he'll do the step overs and he'll do the little flicks and the little Cruyff turns and all of that, but it's got to be progressive, and I think I would say 50% of his attempts were progressive. Some of them were a bit like, okay, I'll take on somebody, show a bit of flair and skill, and you're like, yeah, but where have you really actually got though? Because you haven't hit the byline and pulled the ball back, you haven't got a shot on target, you haven't created a goal scoring opportunity as such. You've just looked really great on that left wing with your dribbling ability and your raw enthusiasm and your fearlessness. But that's all well and good in the FA Cup when there's other stars in your team and you're going to get through and it's fine. Stick them in a Premier League game though, and where you're like, we need 3 points today. All them step overs are lovely, but just you need to be doing a bit more than that. So but like you say, that's by no means a criticism. That's just where you have to. That's just where, as the level goes up and as the expectation goes up, so have the performances and so have the output. Unfortunately, but he'll get there. The key thing you said earlier is in his development, he'll learn that in-game intelligence. He certainly will, and as long as he learns that correctly, he's got all the ability. And to be honest, what a place to be! Like you've got when you're looking up to. He's training with the first teamers. You're looking up to the likes of Gakpo, Diaz, and Salah, and Jota. Just look at how they train. Look at what they do on the pitch. Look at how they find space. Look at the type of passes they try and play. Look at how they link up. Like you've got some ability that perhaps they don't have with the flair, but you'll need to learn some of the things they do because they're seasoned professionals now, and they're at the top stars in Europe, and they score goals and get assists. So how are you going to get that. Well, you take what you've got and you try and shape your game around what you can learn from them. And who knows, you might even be better than them one day. But that's the intelligence that he needs to develop. And I'm certain that he will, because he looks like he's got all the ability.
He just looks he's so dangerous, man. But let's
think,
talk about. Oh, go on, Quazi, and then
I was going to say, I think the whole emergence of Leo Messi has messed up with people's mind, and they think that every kid is going to be just like Messi was. Because we saw literally this kid, he didn't show up at 16, but even at 17 and a half, when Messi came out, everybody was like, who is what? Not even who, what is that? Right? Look what he did to Chelsea. John Terry purposely had to kick him in the groin just to slow him down. They had to sub him for that. Not every player is going to be like that. They might look like that, but they're not. Some kids hit the wall real fast, and then they can't progress anymore. So I think with the academy, you just want to take your time. It would be nice to have them ready to go. Do like what Alex Ferguson did. Have all the kids playing for him, class of 92. Or even what Wenger used to do, always has a lot of faith in his academy players rather than go spend the money, whether he was doing it on purpose or was just that they didn't have money because they had to pay for the stadium. But the idea is people have to understand that these kids have to grow. They have to mature. Their body, the muscle is not grown up yet, their knees. And there's so many things that come. Once in a while, you get this anomaly where this kid is just, it's like he came out of the womb mature.
Lamine Yamal, that's the one.
That's what I'm saying. Like those type of kids.
Lamine's the perfect example. He seems to have game intelligence
that makes no sense.
And awareness beyond his years. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When he gets on the ball, like the difference between him and Rio, right, is Rio has got flair, he's got ability, he wants to beat a man and stuff. But Lamine just seems to know, well, I know I need to play that pass. That's the correct option. So I'm going to play that pass. Taking a step in field to open up the angle on the reverse pass is the right thing to do. So I'm going to do that. Like his decision making based off the football and intelligence and understanding on the pitch is crazy good. And that's what hopefully Rio will develop, because he's got the ability. Yes, he's got the control, the dribbling. He can beat a man. He can do the 1-2 touches. He's got low center of gravity. He can get away from players, which is something that if you've got at a young age is an incredible thing, because it's very hard to teach that. I think you'll probably tell me if I'm wrong, ends, but if you can't beat a man, you can't. You just have to become a different type of footballer. But if you can beat a man and then learn that awareness on the pitch and get that in-game intelligence, you'll become one hell of a player. And we've seen plenty of players not get that intelligence and just act like actual ballers, but never get numbers. Whereas, Lamine's just one of them where he's obviously got incredible ability, but the on-pitch intelligence it's as if you've put a 20-year experienced footballer's brain in his head, and he just knows what to do on the pitch. That's what's so scary about him.
But the way he plays too, he plays like a kid playing in the park. He's just having fun. He's not, you could tell he's not taking it seriously. Like, he's not phased. He is. I remember when he first broke through, I was talking to one of my brethren. I was like, who is this kid at Barcelona? He's like, I'm like, he plays like he's playing a pickup game somewhere where, nothing really phases him. Yeah, he's just relaxed. It's like, the way he kicks the ball, the way he passes it, like he's not worried. He doesn't mind making mistakes either, which is very rare. A kid who doesn't mind making mistakes because he knows the next time I'm not making the same mistake. Exactly. I will learn from it.
But it's not the first time we've said this. Kids coming through the Barcelona academy are just so much more, got a footballing brain. It's not, this is something that's been going on for ages, but he just seems like he's the latest
miles ahead
one to be them strides ahead of everybody else. But we've seen it. I mean, Gavi and Pedri are the same.
That's true.
Just footballing intelligence. Unfortunately for Gavi, he got that injury that took him out, and he missed a lot of football through that. But obviously played hell of a lot beforehand, and he's back available now, isn't he? But
yeah.
But both of those two players coming through that Barcelona academy just have the education football-wise.
I was just wondering why, like, because I'm always thinking like, why I don't know if someone like born with that that old man brain that they've got in their head where they just understand everything as if they were born with all the knowledge, and it's crazy, bro. Just watching them going, how do you even understand this? Why are you playing as if you've got 300, 400 games under your belt? This is only your 10th game. There's no way you should understand the game as well as you do. Right. And consistently keep making the right decisions without looking faced if you don't make the right decision. And if you're not playing well, you find a way to get yourself back in the game. But for some reason, bro, we're finding these little gems, and Lamine is definitely the one currently. And you're right, Pedri and Gavi were there before Gavi's injury, and obviously Pedri playing how many bloody games he played till he got injury. Like, they were the ones that you're like, nah, man. So La Massa must be doing something crazy with them, man. I don't know what kind of chamber they put them in, or they just got their eyes open, they're sitting in the chair just taking in all the information on the world, or like old football games. But let's move on to Trent. Is it all forgotten now, all forgiven? Because because the guy said, like, I can't be bothered to run or tackle in the previous game, and then this one, and I know people are gonna say, yes, it's Accrington Stanley. I'm not gonna do that. He played well today. He led like an actual captain. He led like a leader today. And whether the game was easy for him, whether he just had a bit more freedom, because today, I know we normally see him kind of like pick up different positions on the pitch in the Prem games as well. But for today, I felt like he just played wherever he wanted to play. Sometimes I see him over on the left, sometimes on the right, sometimes he's in the middle, sometimes he's just receiving it off the keeper as if he's the pivot in the midfield. And I'm like, that's not your job. That's, Morton's job or whatever, or Sobo's job. But he was just dropping in and dictating, and he scored an absolute fantastic goal as well. The technique on the strike was top level, bro. That had no power, just technique. He just went line it up, technique
at the right time,
and let the technique take, and the power was just within the technique, man. It was fantastic to see. So the question is, lads, is he forgiven now? Is it forgotten now? Is he, you know what I mean?
Trent is one of the most, how should I say this very wisely? He is a superstar that's not consistent, because we know when this guy balls, man, like the brain in his mind, that's why everybody wants to make him a midfielder, because he doesn't play like a right back. He plays like a number 10. In his head, he can, okay, let me back down. Have you seen the movie Wanted? The one that they can bend the bullet?
Yeah.
That's how I see Trent, where he can, like, the way he kicks the ball, it's like, bro, you're not supposed to do that. At full stride, you're not supposed to give somebody a ball where the ball bent right in front of Mo, like that, in front with a defender right beside him. I mean, who are you, man? That's stupid. But then he gets into a moment where he does something like what he did against Man United, which he's done it before, against Everton the previous year. Then you'll be like, okay, Trent, what's going on here? And then today he comes in and be like, watch, I can be a leader. This is why I need to be a captain, I'm like, you have to do it consistently. He has the skill to do everything. The thing is, I don't think Trent don't have the world-class talent. Trent doesn't have the, it's not like he can't do it. It's just the mentality of sometimes he decides, it looks like he's choosing when and where he wants to do it. That is the frustration. Like, it's like even the managers, the managers even finding it hard to criticize him when Trent is wrong. That tells me, like, there's a lot of conversation going in the background. The same thing used to happen to Klopp, especially towards the end of Klopp's years. Everybody was like, what are you telling him? He's not listening, or he doesn't want to do it. Hence the reason why, Trent wants to play midfield. He doesn't want to play right back. But he's a talent. He's a talent. You're not going to see another Trent for a very long time. from any academy, period. That's how I feel. If we can mold him where he's consistently playing where he's supposed to play, why not? We know Savage has been, he's a double agent trying to get him to Madrid. But if we can keep him, great. If not, man, thank you so much, Trent.
Right. Thank you very much. See you later.
No,
Have you forgiven him? Have you forgiven him Cav, for the Man United game?
No. Well, because you balled out against Accrington Stanley. I'm not being funny.
I didn't want to use that.
No, he did play well today. He played well. He's shown his quality. He got on the ball. He led quite well. Weren't much to lead, to be honest. The team was fine. Scored a good goal. Yeah, look, he's a player that plays quite lethargically at times. He doesn't want to particularly break a stride. He doesn't want to break a sweat. He wants to do everything in his own pace, his own tempo. And that's fine because he's got the ability to back it. But when your team is struggling and the team requires you to work hard, it requires you to run, it requires you to lead as a vice captain, as an experienced player that's won it all, I believe that you need to adapt your game slightly and be somebody that works hard to get on the ball and help your teammates out. It suddenly goes, bro. It's a fine balance. You can't move away from who you are as a footballer. You got to, stick to who you are at times and persist with it on the pitch because that's the quality that's going to help your team out. But then there's other times where you need to just let up that a little bit, change your approach and just simply work hard for periods of the game because that's what the team requires. And the best leaders are those that are able to, adjust their game in game to make sure the team benefits. And he just didn't do that. And that's just frustrating because I don't think any fan can accept a player in their side just not working hard and seemingly looking unbothered. So he's got to accept that if that's what his game is like, that's fine. He'll hit the wonder passes. He'll get the assists. He'll score goals like he did today. And we'll all say how incredible it is because it is. But then on the other hand, if you're not going to work hard and your team's struggling, you got to take the criticism as well. You can't have it both ways. So, yeah, I think the performance that he's shown against United and the performances we've seen much the same. They deserve to be criticised because, in my personal opinion, I think that you can have all of that quality and have that calmness and wanting to just be on the ball all the time and work hard. I don't think there's anything unless someone turns around and says he's physically not capable of running that hard for 90 minutes. He's not physically capable of tracking back. He's not good enough to put a challenge in. He's allowing people to run by him. Unless someone tells me some evidence that it would alter the rest of his game, then I'm going to just expect him to do them things. Yes, you're good. Yes, you've got quality. I understand that you can have one or two players that don't have to work as hard as everybody else in your pitch because they've got incredible ability. Usually that's your 10 or your winger or whatever that stays up the pitch. I don't understand why he can't track back. I don't understand why he can't chase a man that's ran beyond him. I can't understand why when he knows somebody's squared him up and he knows he's going to cut in, why he doesn't go with him. Why is it acceptable that you can just let that man go by you and get a shot away and this and that? So I personally think he should have the ability, but he should never lose that work rate. And at times that work rate has to increase if that team requires you to increase. You are the vice captain. Virgil will play for less years, I believe, than Trent will. So if he stays at Liverpool, he'll become the captain. You're going to have to demonstrate that. You can't be the guy that goes hiding, goes sulking. You've got to be the communicator. You've got to be the leader, And he didn't demonstrate that. So, yeah, I'm never going to accept a lack of effort, to be honest with you. But it's a very difficult thing. I suppose there's tougher problems to have when you've got such an incredible player because he's always going to give you a return, isn't he? But yeah, it's just you can't afford to have too many of them performances a season like he did against United because everybody would just fall out of him. But it is what it is. For me personally, I'm trying to just not focus on it. It's hard not to because obviously we want. I feel like it could be not derailing, but I think it could affect our season a little bit. It could affect some of our performances. I feel like the whole build up with regards to his contract talk in the build up towards Man United affected his game, and that his game affected our team, and our team dropped points. So it will affect the season. And I don't want too much more of that. But besides that, I'm just like, if we can just put it to the side and concentrate on the season, whatever he decides to do in the summer, he can do. And if he turns around and says, yeah, I'm going to go off to Real Madrid because that's what I want to do. I want to live somewhere else. I want to experience different football somewhere else. I want a different lifestyle. That's perfectly fine. You can't blame anybody for that. But it's the manner in which you're going to deliver that's important, I think. And at the minute, the keeping quiet thing, unfortunately, worked for so long. And I think there'll come a point where he needs to take control back, come out and say something that ultimately means if he wants to move on, he can move on with people's blessing and it's good terms, and that's it. You just move on, and we will. Either way, what you can't forget is the club is bigger than every player, and the club will move on. Like Trent, no matter how he leaves, if he leaves, the club will move on. They will find another player, and we'll go into the following season. There might be a little bit of talk about, oh yeah, but if Trent was still in the side, but not much of it. We'll very quickly move on. We that's just life. That's just football. So we can't let the whole Trent thing get much bigger than it needs to be honest with you.
That's the tough part though, Cav, because you're right. I think it worked in the past by him not saying anything, but it doesn't help that a team like Real Madrid is just circling like sharks around him, and that's the team Liverpool fans don't like at all. And I think that just stems from a couple of Champions
we don't like them because there's not many clubs bigger than us, ends. That's why. And it's tough. It's tough for us to take that there is still a club out there that can take our top stars off of us, but that is reality. You know, if Liverpool were what they were when they was under Hodgson, we'd lose players to bloody everybody. You know, but now and it's like, oh, they're going to Chelsea or they're going here, they're going there, and that's frustrating. And our anger's at our own club. Our anger can't be at our own club now because it's like, well, it's Madrid. I mean, it's like there's only like them that's better than us. So our only gripe is going to be with them. Our players ain't going to leave to any other club, are they? I don't see them turning around going to Man City or going to Chelsea or going to Bayern. You know, I know Mane went there, but that's a bit different. They're not. They're going to. It seems like they're leaving and their careers are worsening, or they're leaving and they want to go to Madrid, and that's understandable. Of course, you're going to hate it. They're the only club that's capable of taking our players, I think, at this point.
Here's one Scouser though that we like, and Cav mentioned him earlier. Jayden Danns, bro. This man, is he him though? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Do you know what? I'm gonna put Nunez and him in the same conversation because I feel like it's gonna circle that way anyway. So I'm gonna add them two. I'm gonna change it at the bottom, guys. So don't worry, and I'm gonna put Danns and Nunez in the same category so we can speak on it. Danns comes on. I know everyone saw the dribble, the strength, the speed, the pass, and then he runs into the box and ends up on the end of it. And the kid is just maturing into a great player, bro. I can't even lie. Is he ready, though, to play first team football? I'll let you guys decide. You guys can chop that one up. Chat, you let me know, man. Is he ready? But let's not do the emotional thing because we don't like a certain striker playing currently. But is he actually ready to play, bro?
You know, can
I answer first? I'll make it quite short. I think he is. I don't know what you two think, but I like him. I think he's a good footballer. And I like the way he plays. I like the way that he has a knack of getting in the box at the right time and being on the end of things and scoring goals. I think he's cool. I like him. For me personally, I know we've got Jota, I know we've got Nunez, Diaz playing the 9 as well. But if we can, I'd like us to try and, find a way of getting him in our first team because he seems like he's capable. And he seems like he's got that footballing intelligence on the pitch we were speaking about earlier. So the answer for me is quite easy. I get excited when I think about, a game coming up where I might see Jayden Danns. And that says it all for me because I'm like, I believe in him.
I saw a tweet earlier that somebody said, I see Jayden Danns do everything that Isak does and better.
No, okay, that might be a bit. That might be a bit.
What? Wait, say that again. Say that again. You saw a tweet and
There's a tweet there. It's on there. Nobody responded because everybody knew that it was out of here. But
everyone's
he
nervous,
said,
bro, because they probably think it and don't want
"Yeah, this is like no." He said the way the kid moves, his movement off the ball, the way he glides into the game. He's like, yeah, it's he doing more than what Isak does. So the question that you ask is if we're gonna give him the opportunity. You have a choice of should you go spend 100 million on Isak, or do you promote Danns into that role? And when you do promote him, you have to give him every opportunity. You have to give him all the time he needs to develop into that role. It's not just, okay, we're going to give you 6 months. If you don't get it, we're shipping you off to, Brentford or something else. So if I were to ask you, Cam say he's ready. A lot of, even Savage in the chat say he's ready. So then I'm asking you, you have an opportunity to spend 100 million on Isak, or you remember we're making a pathway for these kids. You're gonna put Danns right in there and give him the same opportunity that you would have given Isak after spending 100 million.
Yeah, but that's easy though, Kwasi. That's the thing. I see what you're trying to do there, right? It's not common. It's easy. We have 2 strikers already. We have a left winger that seemingly now can play as a striker quite well. So we have 3 options in the striker position, right? And we have other areas of our team that do need strengthening. Okay, right now I'd say we probably need an option for Gravenberch. And so we still need a 6, in my opinion. And I think we, with the injury to Gomez now and Ibu's injury situation, hopefully he stays fit for the rest of the season. But we know he could get another injury because he's like that. We probably need a centre back, somebody that could play left back as well. In some fans' opinions, we probably need a left back as well. So there's other areas of the pitch that we need to spend that 100 million we've apparently got to strengthen. I don't think it's in the forward positions right now. And then come the summer, we might need to replace one or more of Salah, Virgil, or Trent. So I'm saving that money for then, So automatically, that means I'm deciding to promote Danns into that position we apparently think is now available in the forward line. So that's fairly easy for me to answer. And also, who we got next? Okay, maybe not Forest, because Forest are a different team this season. But yeah, then I think we've got United, so maybe not United. But there's going to be a game that comes up soon. Next time I play Southampton, I want to see Danns in the starting 11. And I want to see it. Alongside Salah, alongside Gakpo or Diaz on the left, Mac Allister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch behind him. I want to see what he can do.
Where did we play Southampton in the Prem? Was it at home? Was it away?
It was a cup game. The one that
we played them in the Prem as well. We played them in the cup and we played them. We played them in.
Yeah, what was away after the international break?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, for me, is he ready? I don't know if he's ready yet, man. He looks good though, but I don't know. I honestly don't know yet. I don't know. Maybe
tell me why he's not ready though, Ens. Tell me why he's not ready.
Because, and I love what Slot said about his mentality. I think he has that, and I think if you bring him in, he'll be able to do the basics and fundamentals, just keeping the ball and stuff like that. But the Premier League's a different kettle of fish, Cav, man, and the teams that we play against. And I know he's not a small kid, and he can be aggressive and strong, and he looks good on the ball and stuff. But the one thing I don't want to do is throw him in and go, nah, he has to play, he has to be in. And then he gets low on confidence because these men are just running and smashing into him and stop, and then that confidence will slowly just seep out of him because he's not enjoying. He might not even enjoy his football because maybe in the academy, and I'm sure probably they have the similar in terms of how they want to play. But in the academy, he might be able to just have that freedom to do what he wants. And when he comes into our team, if he's playing through the middle, I don't know if that freedom is going to be there. I don't know if he's going to have that freedom. I think if you put him in front of goal, I think he will score. But
He'll be in front of goal. He plays for Liverpool, Lens. You seen the chances we create?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Look,
I don't know,
you're telling
man.
me Salah with them little through balls, the third man, midfield runs from midfielders, the little inverted thing, the cut back on the byline. He'll be there. He'll be there. You're telling me Trent little whip ball into the box is not going to be there. The kid's got movement, The kid, he's got movement. He knows where space is. He falls into that space. His touch is good. The thing I like about him is he don't overcomplicate his game either. If there's this is one of my biggest frustrations with Nunez, and you gave me the opportunity because you said this was a two-way conversation about Nunez, right? Nunez, right? He'll have a simple pass here, and now I'm gonna Cruyff turn it, and I'm gonna go that way, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not. It's like, okay, it looks good, but it's not particularly progressive. Like, he just overcomplicates everything. Danns comes in for 5 minutes, little pass here, little pass there. Oh, space is opened up. You've had a shot. I'm at the end of it. We've seen that a few times now. He just simplifies his game, and I love that in a striker because it showcases that he's comfortable in his position. And if you're comfortable in and around the 18-yard box as a striker, you got good movement. It often lends to you having some composure as well. Bang, you got all this creativity around you. You're gonna be a good player. You're gonna have output. So I like him. I think he's got something about him, and he's not. I love that he celebrates as well. I know it sounds like a crazy. He's got something. Right. This is what we need. Now I'm sick of these footballers just scoring. Like Jota scored a goal and just turned around and walked off. Like, yeah, I do this. All right, that's cool in one respect. But I want the other respect. I want you knee sliding and giving it to the crowd and everything as well. Yeah, calm down. Give it all, man. Like, enjoy yourself. It was nice to see Trent smiling after his goal as well today. This is football, man. You're meant to enjoy it. Danns, I'm telling you now, he scores a goal, he celebrates. You think, yeah, we've got a good kid here. Next game, plays well. The crowd start liking him. Young lad, come through the academy, got long hair, celebrates, scores goals, simplifies his game. Easily, the crowd will get behind him. And then suddenly, I'm not joking, play him in the first team. He plays well. You've made a star. I'm telling you now, that I believe he's got the whole sort of package as a footballer. He just looks calm, composed. He's got an image. He celebrates. He'll get, gets into the first team. He makes his own little celebration. I know Mo's got the bow and arrow thing at the minute. He could maybe do something a bit like that. I'm telling you now, I like him. I like him as a footballer. I want to see him in that first team.
All right, man, let's get it, man. I'm here for it, man. We might as well now. At this point, there's no failure now, innit? It's only upwards trajectory from this point on. Might as well put him in. But he does get called up. But the only problem is what I said is he gonna get the opportunity to do it, or are we just gonna have him? Because Slot also added he doesn't know if he's gonna obviously go out on loan. And I think maybe a loan this month would be good for him, especially if
a loan would also be good. One. Yeah, a loan would also be good.
Find the right club for him now. Whether it's championship or not, I think just being able to go out there like Kumas says and like Van Dijk has, and even Kai Gordon, even though Sav don't like him, but even he's gone out and being able to go and express and build their profile. Kai
Gordon, we got sold a dream of that one. Rooney came out and said it's the best youngster he's ever seen.
That injury set him back mad though, man.
No, come on, Ez. We've seen him play for Liverpool. He scored that one goal inside on the penalty spot, and that's about it. He didn't do anything else, bro. I got so excited seeing his name on the team sheets in the cup games. He didn't do anything.
He had the talent, man, and the injury he felt like he was out for like 2 years, and then he came back, and you have to now. In that 2 years, everything happens, bro. The team moves on. Players that were 2 years younger than you are now in their physical peak or get into that physicality part. They're now going out on loan and being able to express themselves and building their profile and brand. And you just sitting there going, all right, cool. So I'm just going to sit here, can't play, just injured for 2 years. It's always going to set you back in it. And I think a loan to go and express yourself maybe can help and build you back.
Yeah. What club do you think were good? Just talking about Danns, what club do you reckon would be a good loan for him, though? Because I've got a club in mind.
Are we talking Premier League or Championship? Because that's the only two I'd loan him.
Well, that depends. That depends how highly you rate him, I guess.
I think he can play in the Premier League, but he needs somewhere that he can go and play, though. I don't want him to go there just to, just sitting on the bench with my coat on. Might as well do that at Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Southampton, I think would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think even though Ipswich has got a player, but I think he could probably go there, and because they at times I've seen them play two up top as well. So him and Delap could probably play up there and do a little combination thing, possibly.
Maybe they're a little bit similar. They got similar attributes. They're not similar players, to be fair.
I see a couple of the guys saying Bournemouth. Sav is saying Bournemouth. Honestly, yeah, because they got the was it Evan Nielsen? He's injured now for the rest of the season. Yeah, that's a place where he could go as well.
Yeah.
And he could probably just get that Solanke kind of role in it. Maybe they just push him in there and then see what he can do to a point and see what he can do. But
is your boy Pedro injured now?
Yeah,
Brighton.
ankle injury.
Yeah. Do you think Brighton's too much of a step up for him at this point? Do you think they'll? Because I think he could go there and maybe do it.
Because you got Ferguson there as well.
Good football in education there as well.
Yeah, you could, but then you got Ferguson there, and you got what's his name? Well, is Welbeck still there? I'm sure he's still lingering around that team, unless he's injured.
Welbeck's a good striker as well, to be fair. Yeah.
I sent him to Brentford. Work with some grown men.
They don't have a striker, do they? Wissa plays up front, and they've been doing the Mbeumo-Wissa combination. Maybe.
I think he plays a little bit like Ivan Toney. Am I going too far with that?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think you are.
Because Tony used to drop in and spread the ball out wide, and then get into the box and stuff. Like he's like the way he sort of carries the ball a little bit. His shades of it, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, but you're right. He does make the right decision more times than not. And Ivan Toney is good at that when it comes to holding the ball up and then just setting it where he needs to set. Don't overcomplicate it. Yeah. So possibly that those are the kind of teams for me. I think he'll be good at.
Brett, I just realized Brett and Mbeumo and Wissa beside him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would do him good if he could go to Brentford and get in that side there.
You'll put it in university and give him a 6-month loan. Go out there and score some goals against our rivals, man. Just one player though that I want to talk about, and it's Szoboszlai or Szoboszlai, whatever way you want to pronounce it. When he's not in the team, you see it. When he's back in the team, you notice it, bro. And today, even though it was only 45 minutes just to run, get the legs ticking over again. You can tell how much he offers, man. No midfielder can dilly-dally or sit in or think that they have a freedom to express themselves when he's about. This man will hound and press you, and when he wins it, he has the quality as well. And I feel like, obviously, when he first came, we had that good couple of months, and then he fell off. And I think that's where the ego was there because he knew how good he was. But I felt like this season, especially, I felt like the ego hasn't gone in terms of he doesn't believe he's a good enough player. Mm-hmm. But I think it's kind of squashed it. He squashed it down a bit and gone, I'm going to do what I can for my teammates. And I'm going to give what I can do, whatever I'm asked to do for this team, because I want the best for my team. And when I say when you don't realize that, when a player is in the team, you're like, what does he do? We need him to score. We need him to assist. All right, that's fine. Totally agree. But you notice when he's not in the team. A prime example, the last 2 games we played, you can see. And those were both teams that he absolutely, the Man United one, he was the best midfielder on the pitch. He just based off his numbers and what we saw anyway. The Tottenham game, he was really good in that one, scored and assisted as well. And he missed them 2 games, the Spurs game after, and he missed the Man United one. And you could just see that we were just getting overrun. Like Gravenberch has his own little thing that he does. Mac Allister has what he does. But none of them does what Szoboszlai does, bro, what he offers you. And even though he plays in the 10, he covers ground for everyone. He's I don't want to say he's the legs because I feel like I'm taking away from Mac Allister and I'm taking away from Gravenberch. But he is partly the legs as well. So the moments when the guys can't do certain things, he'll go and do it. He'll come back and make sure he gets the tackle in and he'll carry the ball. And just a consistent running in behind, always making the defenders and their midfielders guessing and looking over their shoulder. Mm-hmm. We've missed it, bro. I'm just watching it today, and I know it was only against Accrington Stanley, and I know it was only 45 minutes. just seeing him just back on the pitch, just making little dummies at the edge of the box to allow someone else to shoot. Just his awareness now, giving the ball and running into good little spaces. And I'm just watching you going, bro, like I have missed seeing you in this team. And I don't know, when we've criticized him in the past, and especially this season, we're like, what does he do? We need goals, we need assists, we need to sell him and get this guy. And I'm like, I get it. I understand it. We want our 10 to score and assist. And when we were saying sometimes a 10 doesn't necessarily need to play or give you the exact as other 10s, maybe their job description is completely different, or their roles within that position is completely different. And we need him to play, bro. We need him in this team to play. I'm not saying we need him to win, but he helps us win games of football. And he makes it a lot more difficult for every other team when we play against them to get a foothold in our midfield. And the last 2 games I've seen Tottenham have a foothold against us in their midfield. Basuma was bossing the game with the Spurs one. And the Man United one, I was like, we normally run these men off the park, bro. What? Like they were taking a piss at some points in terms of the way they were pressing and bullying us as well. I can't remember. Did he start against Newcastle? He didn't, did he? He came on.
Came off the bench and he played. And that's when you saw the shift, because Trent came on, he came on, and I forgot somebody else who came on, and the attack, all of a sudden, the momentum shifted. This is a power a lot of us were telling people, just because he's playing a number 10 doesn't mean he's a traditional number 10. His instructions are different. Tactics are different. He's not a Coutinho, right? Putting a Coutinho number 10, that's a typical traditional number 10. You are not wrong in saying that you don't want to take like credit from Grav and Mac Allister, but Szoboszlai is the reason why those two are able to play. He balances those two, and his pressing is ridiculous. The energy he brings in that midfield, it helps the other two to be able to move around a little more freer. You know, case in point, the man what's his name? Bruno had way too much time on the ball, which made no sense.
You would not have had that.
He would have never had that.
Never had that.
Never had that during the game. And people are like, well, I'm like, no, just watch the 2 games. And especially watch the 2 games between Spurs and Liverpool, where Spurs had 2 energized bunny in the game and they could not get the shot off because Szoboszlai had them in their pockets. Right? They have Sa and Bissouma, who are also very, very energetic type of midfielders. They got lungs for days. Szoboszlai put them under pressure. They could not even move around. And he's not in the game. And the funny thing is, in those 2 games, he wasn't there, and we saw how our midfield played. And in the same team that he played against when he was there, you saw the difference in how those teams played against us. And a lot of times people need to understand players like Szoboszlai, they give you something different. It's not a traditional way of looking at this. When you say, oh, he has energy, people automatically assume that, oh, so you have a handle on your team. That is not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is this guy has so much energy that he also had the techie side, if you want to talk about it, where the other team also now have to work twice as hard to chase him around, because if you think that he's just going to get the ball and then pass it off, you lying. He gets the ball, he can do things too with the ball. So now you need people like Bruno, who was having all day long to do whatever. If Szoboszlai is there, now they have to chase him around, because if you don't chase him around, you saw what he did to you at Old Trafford. And having him on the team, it's more important than not having him on the team. You know,
even if you look at the leading up to the goal, the counter-attack, the pass he gives to Trent on his left foot was a really good pass. And then Trent just carried on that pass into Darwin, and then Darwin just squared it up for Jota to finish. And it was just great bit of passing from each of them. Like each 3, from Sobo to Trent to Nunez, it was just great 3 passes leading to that goal. And those are the things we miss when he's not in the team, because he can pass a football as well. And it's just so good to have him back.
He's just a perfect example of you don't know what you've got till it's gone. You know, we've spoken about him this season and said, you know, I think the fan base from what I've been hearing has been pretty split on him. Like, some believe he's not good enough to play in the 10, he doesn't contribute enough. In fairness, some of his passes on the breaks at times have fell behind the player is intending to pass to, and all these kinds of things, which are rather frustrating because it's breaking down opportunities. And I get why people would be annoyed with him, but I think those that have supported him have always said the amount of work rate that he puts in and how much that enables the rest of the side to go and play the way that they do and win the games in the way that they do. So it's nice to see now that the balance feels like it's tipped a little bit, and that's actually with him being out. You see how the team performs. He is an enabler, you know, for those around him with his work rate and everything. I think his execution with passes and stuff, his accuracy has improved as well. You know, I love the fact that he makes that run into the box and offers that, you know, inside run, because it seems to be a bit of a pattern of play that we do that more often than not creates a lot of good angles, you know, whether the pass is played or not, for us to go and create something. And I think we miss that sometimes. You know, past couple of games we've played, I'm like, where's that inside run gone? Because it seemed to be something that, you know, when Salah's picking up the ball, he's kind of waiting for it. Like, he's waiting for that inside run, so either he can play it, or there's space opening up on the edge of the box that he can run into, and then he can do the dink ball into the back of the box. But without them runs, you know, it felt a little bit stagnant at times. And a large part of that is Szoboszlai's willingness to run into them channels. You know, it's very selfless running, really, at times. So fair play to him for acknowledging, because I was so excited when we signed him, because I finally thought, oh, there's a top midfielder in Europe, you know, that felt like he was going to go to Real Madrid or not Barcelona, Bayern Munich or somewhere like that. And when we got him, I was like, oh, damn. Like, okay, came and I thought we're going to get this like absolute baller, and he's not panned out to be that way. He's not beating men. He's not getting all the shots off that I thought he would. You know, he's not playing like through balls like I thought he would, nor be a proper creator. But what he has done is acknowledged where he is in his game and his development and what's happening at Liverpool, and has decided to get his head down and work. And now it seems to be paying off, and it feels like the trajectory is up for him. So fair play to him, because how many times do we say with footballers, oh, it's not working out and they're not really contributing, we might have to look for a move away and this and that. Not, you know, the talk about Szoboszlai moving on has always been crazy to me, because I'm like, how can you not believe in this guy? Because look how hard he's working.
Look how young he is.
Exactly. He's young. He's got incredible ability. We've seen it at his time before Liverpool. He's got to Liverpool. He had a good start. Then it dipped a little. And all he's done is get his head down and work. He's usually available. He's usually putting effort when he's on that pitch. He's usually contributing in a positive way. Seems like he's now, you know, an important cog to our team. And it's all born out of just working really hard, you know. And I think when you've seen him in pre-season, I think he won one of the earlier tests that Milner always used to win, the lactate test and things like that. You've seen the fitness that the guy's got, and he's not the player I thought we were getting, but he certainly seems to be a player we need to keep hold of and we need to keep available, because he seems like, I say again, he seems like an important cog in our team, and feels like we do miss him when he's not in there now. That's probably combined with the fact that I don't think Curtis has played well in the past couple of games. So if had Curtis have played well in that 10 position, maybe I won't feel this strongly about it. But for me, I'm so pleased he's back, and I'm pleased for him being back in the side against Forest, because I think he's that important.
We're gonna need him against Forest.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
He's a great player, and he looks like he's potentially a future leader as well. You know, if you think about maybe the three boys moving on in the summer, Robertson probably not going to play much next season if he's still here and stuff. You suddenly lost a load of your inner leaders, your inner core group, your captain's group. So you're going to need other guys to step up and take them roles. And I think we've got them in our squad, and he could be another one that's one of them, to be honest with you. I think Gakpo is one of those that's kind of emerged this season.
Slowly doing his business now. Slowly doing his business.
Exactly, and I see Szoboszlai being much the same. The next people to take on, we just spoke about the youngsters. Okay, that's one side of it, but who's the more experienced ones? Who's the grown adults? Who's the ones that, yes, their games are developing, but they know what their game's based around. They're going to lead those youngsters. He is a potential one of them, you know. So yeah, I like him. I looked sideways when the game started though, because for some reason my girlfriend turned around and was like, "Yeah, I don't think Szoboszlai is that attractive," you know. And I'm like,
why was that even in the conversation?
Why are we why are we talking about this?
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry?
But I did the other thing though, and I was like, yeah, but that's because the hair is growing out now. I'll show you him at the start of the season. Look, when he had the skin fade.
Yeah, he's got the hairband now.
No one expect me to back him in that respect. But.
No, but that's what I said when I said I feel like the ego now it's not gone, but he's now squashed it down to the like, I'm just here to work now.
Yeah,
you can tell because when he was here, remember everyone used to cuss him. Oh, he's just always, he knows where the camera is. Oh, he always looks fresh. But now he just looks like a man that's like, I've just grafted. I'm sure for the rest of the season he's just come out like a caveman, bro. Just mad beard, hair just wow.
He's doing the work. He's doing the work. It's so important that having them players in your team, because you can have quality players, but to make a title winning side, to make a Champions League winning side, you have to have players that are just, work so hard. We've seen it. We've spoken about that midfield three that we had that won us the league title, that won us the Champions League. They were workmanlike, and he's got more ability than that. He's got more dynamism than that, but he is one of those hard workers in our side.
Before we kind of head out, we'll talk about the last topic, and that's Chiesa, man. Enough has been said about him. A lot's been said about him in terms of, oh yeah, we're going to use him as a part of the deal to get Kvaratskhelia. He's homesick. That was one of the things. Slot doesn't like him. How long did it take someone to get fit? So much has been said about Chiesa, and he comes on today. He done all right. He done all right for me, bro. He looked half easy. You can still say he's rusty though, because he hasn't played enough.
He is rusty.
You can see he's rusty, but you're like,
very rusty.
If we can get the rust out of you, and like we know what type of player he is, we know how good this man is. And he's still at a very young age as well. And I know everyone likes to do this thing where they just add an age to make the argument sound better. It's like we'll be talking about a player, but he is 27 now, isn't he? He's like, but he's 26. Well, if he turns 27 in 6 months, then we'll get to that point. We have a conversation then. A lot can happen in 6 months. But it's good to have him a part of the squad, and for me, I listened to what Arne Slot said, and one of the things he said when he was comparing the other side in terms of like Mo Salah was comparing Diaz and Cody, and then I remember him saying, "Yeah, if Chiesa was fit, Mo would probably have less minutes."
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Because he said I thought he was so smart for him to say that, because the comment, I can't remember the question was. It was something like, "Oh, Salah's numbers are incredible. Surely he's got to get a contract and that." And then he was like, "Yeah, but if you add Diaz's and Gakpo's numbers, they're the same as Salah's.
The same as Salah,
is that Salah always plays, and maybe if Chiesa was a bit more available, then Salah wouldn't have had to have played as much." And it was like he tackled so many things in just like
one statement.
Yeah, it was incredibly smart, but also true. I think if Chiesa was fit and available, we'd have seen Salah brought off a bit more in games. So it certainly started probably as many, but brought off.
And that's why, like, obviously we've utilized Diaz in terms of the false nine or as the striker in a few of the games. And you're like, the reason why that's probably happened is, one, he's performing, so is Cody. So we have to get them both on the pitch. And the only alternative is, I don't want to push Cody back into that middle because that's not where I naturally see him. But Diaz has the ability to play across the front three. I think he's got the more, not football intelligent. I think that Cody's very intelligent with his football, but maybe just adapting. I think Diaz is a bit more, he can adapt to the game a bit more in terms of positioning. So he goes, all right, I'll put you here. And then we can rotate, and wherever you guys end up, if you need to switch and end up here, then you can end up in the middle and vice versa. But honestly, just listening to when he said it, I'm just like, no, that's gone over everyone's head. That statement, I was just like, yeah, I know that's what would happen. We saw it on the clock. Klopp was trying to do that with Ben Doak. Obviously, probably the wrong kind of choice because he was still mad young. You're like, nah, this is Mo Salah, bro, relax. But Chiesa coming in, you're like, I know, and many people know how good this guy is, but he hasn't played. But he's got his goal. I think he was a good striker as well. The previous game he played in, he could have had 2 goals as well. Who was the previous game? And they scored 2. Was it Southampton?
Southampton, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they cleared one off the line and one got blocked as well. So
he had 2 shots at the same time, simultaneously, where it got blocked and then he jumped back on it again. And it's funny how Savage said he looks like Forrest Gump, where when he kept running, then his knee braces start to fall off. You could tell today he was trying, because he had a shot that hit the pole too. It was like, bro, you don't have no luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He literally almost scored right before the goal that he scored. He hit the post. Like, you think the ball is going in and then it hit the post. But I think with the Chiesa situation, the skill is there. The class is there. It's just the body is not, working. Yeah, it's not agreeing with what he wants to do right now. And sometimes it's kind of annoying when you just got off an injury and then you fall ill. Then you have to wait.
As well, isn't it? He's trying to get himself, and it's so crazy because I know a lot of people like it's worth having a conversation, so I'll never knock it. Like, how long does it take a professional to be fit? And then they read into it a lot. It's like so much things happen within that period. He got ill twice. He's not probably used to this weather, bro. Like snow, and then the day after.
Don't throw recovery dinners now, man. His body can't handle it.
It's like, what is this, bro? Why am I picking up a flu?
Yeah, why am I on roast potatoes now?
Yeah, it's like, can't even get a decent pasta, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
He's not eating 2 veg. The diet ain't working out of him. He needs to have a word with Carol.
No.
No, let's all blame Carol, man.
Yeah, stop blaming Carol, man. No,
she needs to update the Italian cuisine in that restaurant. No, I tell you what it is. It's the coffee bar. Let's blame the coffee bar. All the lads are sat around there too much. You need to be doing more training. No, but I think I am one of those though, Ends. I am one of those where I'm thinking, how long does it take? It feels like he should have been playing a bit more already now. But look, at the end of the day, for £12 million, I know he's on a lot of money every week. But for £12 million, even if he has like a good second half to the season and then moves on, you'll recoup that fee, and then it was worth the bet. So hopefully he goes on to do much more than that, because we've seen he's got that ability. But even if he doesn't, what's 12 million in football money now, really, for a player like that? It was always worth the risk. Hopefully now he gets back fit though, and he gets some form, and he's then got to adapt to the actual league as well. So this could take a bit of time, but hopefully he figures it out, because like I say, he has got ability.
And that's the thing. I think if you can get him up to his peak fatigue and fitness and stuff, he'll be such a problem to have. Such a problem to have in the team. Mm-hmm. And he might not, a lot of people might think, oh yeah, he's a dud, he's not good enough. And I know we like to do that thing when we want the shiny new toy, so you like get rid of him. But if we can get this guy to the levels that I know he can play at, and we've seen him play at, he's a problem. And he's a problem for his teammates as well, because then it becomes, are you hungry enough for this position? Because I will take it. Mm-hmm. When I play, I will score goals.
Yeah.
He has the ability to score off his right and off his left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, in the minute, he's doing the nice guy thing, isn't he? He's doing the, I'm new to the team. I know I ain't contributing. A little smile and wave to the crowd when he scored and stuff. But I'm looking forward to him playing more, getting fit, scoring goals, getting the aggression back, getting the confidence back, and then staking his claim in the team. You get that Chiesa back, and suddenly you've got one hell of a contributor in your squad.
Then guys will be like looking over their shoulder like, oh man, not today, man, not my position.
Yeah. He needs to go down to the pit with Szoboszlai. He needs to grow the stubble out. He needs to stop brushing their hair. He needs to get into whatever Szoboszlai is doing, into that workplace.
Do you know what Sobo is doing?
He's doing create a demon out of him.
No, it's Salah, bro. He's not. Every time I see him now, he's in the Under Armour top like Salah now, bro. He's no longer just he's at the bar with Salah every single time. Coffee bar, him and Salah.
Wait, Salah's never got his training kit on, does he?
Never, bro. And now
the Under Armour. Yeah, you're right.
Sobo don't now. If you look, the last, say, 2 months, 2 to 3 months, I would say. Every time I always notice because I see Salah and I'm like, that's Salah. He just never has the training top on. But Sobo now is doing it. And then I'm like, oh, and then you realize in every insider training who's at the coffee bar with Salah.
Nah, remember Sobo, she said yes. He's a very happy dude right now. She said yes. So he's really, really, really happy.
He's there, let himself go now.
Yeah, when you have a good one.
I told you, when the hairband come out, he's not even doing haircuts no more, bro. We used to be before, nice haircut, ready for the game. Like, where the camera is, let me look left, let me look right, let me take the front. There's so much. But now, the man come out looking like he just came out of a cave, bro. Just hairband, and let's run the game, bro. That's what I'm here to do.
You gotta rate it, though. You gotta rate it. I'm telling
That's
you
how
now,
you
if I'm
play.
making football, I'm knowing where all them cameras are as well. You best believe I'm scoring a goal. I'm knee sliding into each corner as well. Get all the photos.
Nah, it's not. But when are we got Forest? Is it next week, right?
Tuesday.
Do you know what I saw? When you said Quasi came across a tweet and they were trying to compare Danns to Isak, which is crazy, bro. But I saw one. It was like Forest has got the best unbeaten run at the moment, and there was teams, obviously us, because we lost the Spurs to our unbeaten run start. There's like Real Madrid and a couple of the top teams on the list. It's like Forest are on this madness, bro. So that game, and we're not playing them at home. We have to play them away, bro, which makes it. I think it makes it slightly better for us because they have to play. I can't see them being at their ground and going, we're going to play how we played against Liverpool and sit in. Then it gives us the impetus to sit in and then counter attack.
I think they could. Yeah, because all of their fans are just looking at the season and they're kind of accepting of the fact that it's Liverpool and who are we to question this team because look at what they've been doing this season. And they'll just, even though it's sitting back and playing on the counter, they'll get chances because
they will.
Hudson-Odoi and Wood up top, they'll get chances, and that's good enough for their crowd. And they'll be in unison with all of that. So it's going to be tough. But I feel like playing this
pure speed.
Yeah, and that turns out to be a good move for him and Hudson-Odoi. With the two together as well. On the wings. With the target man up top that they can play off. It's a good setup there. But I think it's good that we played this FA Cup game before that. It feels like, although not, a lot of first teamers got a rest, which is obviously great as well. But we've played a game and we've sort of shaken off a little bit of rust. Yes, it's only a League Two side, but it just a little bit of a feel good factor. After a little bit of down the past couple of games, bit of feel good factor back in. See some youngsters, reminder of who we are and what we do. And then we can ramp it up a gear or two going into Forest. But I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be okay. When Liverpool are faced with a tough fixture, they usually turn up. And we always say that about when we played the top sides. We turn up. But Forest are now a top side this season, so we've got to treat them like that. And more often than not, when Liverpool know what the task is in hand, they'll deal with it. So I'm still confident despite them. They'll cause us problems. They'll probably score, but I'm still confident we get that result then.
Yeah. We got enough firepower, man. And having a couple of the lads, you know what it is for me, Caviar? When we go into these type of games, right? The problem I hate the most is when the main players or the players that should be effective are not effective because they don't want to always look at it. They don't want to get in aggressive in the game and just want to shrug off a couple of challenges and if hold up the ball and let the guy if he wants to tackle you really or run into the back of you, take the foul, bro. We're like, let's pop it off, let's be all pretty and cute. Sometimes we have to do that to show them like we're not scared. If you're gonna keep doing that, ref, how many more of these is he gonna allow to do? Because he's not coming to win the ball. He keeps, flying into the back of my legs and stuff. So how many more is he? But because we keep laying it off, they can continuously be aggressive throughout the game. And I want us, when we go into these type of games, that's what we have to do more so than none. Be able to have that fight and grit within the game, and then we'll be able to play our football. But if we don't, we can't offer up that fight and allow them to shrug us off a couple of times because we're a bit too soft and whatever in the first couple of challenges. That's when they then build confidence because they can play football, and if they're more aggressive than us, that's the one thing.
We've got to be cute. cute with the dark arts. Get like you say, you get a foul, get over to the ref. Is that not a yellow card, ref? Is that not a second yellow? How long they taking on the ball? You know, oh, they're moving 2-3 yards forward from the throw in and the free kicks, and just get into the ref's ear and do all of that. You got to match these sides with aggression, work rate, and them, unfortunately, them cutenesses and then them dark arts. Because ability, you better than them. System, you're probably better than them. You know, options off the bench, you're better than them. But these teams will use what they have, which is working hard, aggression, and time wasting and all these things. So you've got to match that. And I think sometimes we are a bit soft in that respect. It's admirable that we want to play football the right way, pass and move and this and that. But like you say, Ens, if a man fouls you, get over to the ref, bark it and make him aware. You know, you got to do these things because in these fixtures, quite often it's I think we just take our eye off the ball a little bit in that respect, and then you watch the clock tick on and you get to the last 20 and you're thinking, geez, we've got to find a goal here, and the opposition's happy to sit back and you're like, yeah, because in the first 10 minutes onwards you should have been doing all these things, you know.
And that's the difference, because we'll let the game just go by us because we're just, I don't know, just a bit too soft, man. Even like today watching us against, and I know the ref didn't want to like book anyone really in sending because he wanted to keep the, you know, the contest a contest, but there was a couple of challenges like, yo, you pulled Sobo back, that's a yellow card straight away. And for me, I'm like, no, I'm calling for that. I want the yellow. Yeah. Take the yellow, big man. Don't pull me again. But we have a habit of just allowing some of these things to go and letting it go. For an example, when obviously against Spurs, when the guy did that tackle, we should have just run over to the ref straight. I know we was slightly on a counter attack, but we should have just run over to the ref straight away and crowd him and say, yo, what's going on? So it's within the confinement of the play. So he has no choice but to give it. But we let it go and we're waiting to see what the ref does. Then we go over to him and go like, ref, ain't that not a cut? And you're like, by then he's already decided he's not giving him one. But I'll tell you what, if he does that and we run over to him there, a couple of players need, because we're on the attack, run up to him, like, what's going on? He will make a scene and go, yeah, oh shit, that's, you know what I mean? That's a fuck. And then once the ball goes out, ref, what are we doing here? And then he has to then, you know what I mean, do the brave thing and give it. You can't complain about it after the game because you didn't do it in the game to pressure the ref into giving it. Because how that wasn't a second yellow is crazy. But we didn't give him enough of a rollicking the ref like to go, yo, what's going on? You see how quickly sometimes when players foul our play or other players, 3-4 players run up to the ref and you're like, and the crowd goes up with that because they feed off of the energy of the players. And then he just goes, oh shit, I'll give him the yellow. Or they'll be like, nah, I think you should give him a card there or whatever it may be. But we didn't do it, bro. And the guy turns up and scores the winner, which is
that's mad. But for me, I think if Liverpool protects the ball, nothing that Forest does that we don't come up with the 3 points. If we protect the ball, that's all Liverpool has to do, meaning the passes has to be right.
Crisp,
you know, touching. We have to. We haven't been protecting the ball recently. Even in the Spurs game, the first half, it was like passes all over the place, losing all. It was horrible, and that's what also affected us against Manchester United, where it's like we didn't even know how to pass. But if we do protect the ball properly, we coming out with 3 points.
Yeah, and Trent needs to make sure he's willing to defend because Hudson-Odoi will just absolutely he'll tear him up if Trent can't be asked on that Tuesday night. Hudson-Odoi is gonna do exactly what he did to him last time. He's gonna cut in and he's gonna cause problems. So
I don't even want to.
I'm not sure if you do a preview for it ends. If you do, this is so scripted, this game. It goes one way, Liverpool control the ball, they get their goals, they run out 3-0 winners just like Man City and Arsenal did to them. Or it's a repeat of what we already seen this season where they sit back, they've got pacey wingers, they've got a man that can hold up the ball. Trent Lapsey-Daisical defending, cut in, shoot. That's how it's gonna go. Or they might set piece or something. Like it's only going one or two ways. It ain't a ding dong, it ain't a 3-2. It's not that. It's a 1-0 or it's a Liverpool cruise to a 3-0.
I just want to win. I'm not doing the preview, so what I've been doing though, I've been doing the stream every day at 10. Yesterday I didn't though, and the day before that I did. The day before that I had going through some cold or flu, whatever it was.
So not every day, but that's all right. Just
yeah, no. Wait, let me
no, it sounded nice.
Previous to that, it was every day, bro.
I'm doing 3 out of 5 days, you know.
No. It was a strong 7 days until I had
your
a cold,
channel. You do what you want.
No, strong 7 days, and then I had a
part
cold,
time
bro.
if you want. Yeah.
No, strong. I'm gonna have to be at this point.
Yeah, make sure you stick around for them bad results as well. And what? Oh, suddenly Liverpool, draw against United, lose against Spurs.
I did that. No,
he's on the beach and.
No, I did the Man United one. The one I didn't do was the Tottenham one, but I couldn't do that one. That's why. Yeah, but normally I've got the time to do all of them, bro. So if we lose against, you know what I mean, we ain't gonna lose. But if we do lose, I'll be there.
It's all right, man. Just get better with your excuses. That's what I'm saying. If you ain't gonna show up for your own show, you might as well just come up with something crazy, like SAS that called you in for questioning and just want to do some testing and all this kind of stuff. Government testing. Been called up for government testing, jury duty. I don't know. Come up with something better.
I need them to call me for one more of them, man. I've done it twice now.
Jury duty? I've not done it once. I'm trying to run a business, bro. Don't call me up. I don't have any time.
No, but that's the thing. I think the only way you can get out of it is if is it like
guilty day one, let's move on.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't even get out of it. When they call you up, you have to go. It has to be some circumstance, maybe like death in the family or something. That's the only way you get out of it. But yeah, you can't get out of it. Nah. But Cal, big up to you, man. Big up to KWASI in the building as well, man. And big up to the chat. Hey, back tomorrow, man. I don't know what to talk about. We'll find something to talk about. Maybe I'll do the preview of a bit of preview of Forest. When are we playing? Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Some preview of that. Maybe some aftermath as well. Maybe we have some transfers. Because obviously the guy we want is going somewhere else. And I know everyone's going to do is blame FSG. It's their fault. That's fine. But, Cav, big up to you, bro. Big up to everyone locked in. Let me go to my bed, man. Peace.